say, kids, what time is it?
The future is coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on.
And we're coming on to you today from, well, at least my body is located in Boulder Creek, California. And Mrs. Future, Boulder Creek. And Bobby Wilder in San Francisco. You see the bridge behind him there? For those of you on the video feed.
In the future.
And our special guest, visitor for today, is none other than Kelly Durkin, who is sitting between Mrs. Future and myself. And she has her whole report for us on her new career, which we'll be talking about shortly. Meanwhile, let's cover a little bit of the news, shall we? Just
because it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Can't help but talk about the news, right?
And some of the things that really hit us about the stories that are coming out.
Yeah. Of course, we're just like most people, spectators. We have absolutely no inside knowledge, but we do look at a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, so what's the most interesting pieces to the puzzle that you've heard?
Okay, I assume we're talking about Venezuela, Maduro.
We've got to do at least our 10 minutes worth
Mark
of
Rubio.
Deep conspiracy stuff on this.
Yeah, well, I really don't have any point of view on all of this except that the world is going through some big changes and a lot of people are trying to rewrite history. And we have now a spotlight on Venezuela that wasn't there for most of us a couple weeks ago. And now that it is, we learned that Venezuela is an occupied country who stole a bunch of oil company resources in the 90s and started doing business with Cuba and has gotten...
China and Russia.
China and Russia, right. And is basically considered by the current administration to be a staging ground for hostile entities that do not have our national interests at heart. And so Venezuela is now being treated as a criminal state. Maduro, the president, has been kidnapped, reminiscent of Noriega back in the Panama days, and is brought to New York to go through some justice. He's on trial in New York for drug offenses.
Okay, as a Venezuelan American, I got some shit to say. My family, my parents, my sister, my extended family, all lost everything. Their work, their savings, their investments, gone. Wiped out by a narco-dictatorship that has held Venezuela in a death grip for over 25 years. And what happened to my family has happened to millions, and yes, millions. The Venezuelan exodus is the second largest displacement crisis on earth after Syria. This is not just a tragedy. It is one of the great humanitarian disasters of our time. But the suffering doesn't end there. This regime has jailed hundreds of political prisoners. Thousands have been murdered simply for speaking out. More than a third of the population has fled. 1/3. Not for better opportunities or for the American dream, but to survive. To live, because staying often means death. And while the world may see Venezuela as a collapsed state, what it is in reality is an occupied one. Our territory, our natural resources, and our institutions have been overrun by hostile foreign powers. Iranian militias, Chinese corporations, Russian intelligence, all exploiting our country with impunity. Venezuela is no longer just a local crisis. It is now a geopolitical threat that endangers the entire Western Hemisphere. It has become a launch pad for an authoritarian expansion in the Americas. And in the midst of all of this, one woman has dared to lead the charge for freedom. Maria Corina Machado. In 2024, against every odd, she led a peaceful democratic uprising that won the election. Her team smuggled physical voting receipts out of the country, hard proof of victory that the regime tried to bury. Her courage has lit a fire in the hearts of millions of Venezuelans desperate to believe that change is still possible. But now some have questioned her decision to dedicate her Nobel Prize to Donald Trump. Okay, I get that. But here's the truth. It was a brilliant strategic move in the global chessboard of politics. Maria Corina is no fool. She knows exactly the kind of man Trump is. She knows how much he campaigned for it, loudly and relentlessly, to win that very same prize. She knows how symbolic and personal that recognition is to him. And precisely because of that, she understood that this gesture might be the thing that keeps his attention focused on Venezuela at a time when US presence and pressure in the Caribbean is rising. She didn't dedicate that award to flatter him. She did it to protect and preserve the one kind of power that could help shift the course of history. Because for her, this isn't about pride. It's not about optics. It's about freedom. And let's be very clear. Maria Corina is not asking for the US to invade Venezuela. She's not campaigning for war. Venezuela is already invaded. It is held hostage by a narco state, overrun by foreign agents and enemies of democracy, Russians, Iranians, Chinese, all operating freely, weaponizing our land and resources to expand their influence across Latin America. What Maria Corina is calling for, what millions of Venezuelans are praying for, is the support of the only military on earth capable of countering that threat and helping to free our people. This is not imperialism. This is liberation. She's not playing partisan games. She's playing for Venezuela's life. Because this isn't theoretical. This isn't academic. This is life or death. So yes, it is time to honor her bravery, but more importantly, it is time for the world, especially the free world, to recognize what's at stake. The fight for Venezuela is a fight for freedom, for democracy, and for the stability of an entire continent. If we truly care about liberty, human dignity, and peace in the Americas, then Venezuela's fight must matter to all of us. Que viva Venezuela, que viva Maria Corina Machado.
There you go. That was a Venezuelan man who is going viral for explaining to everyone why Maduro needed to be toppled. And that was a post by Eric Doherty on X.
Okay, Dr. Future is back. Let's get the show running. Let's go. Where were we? We were talking about the news.
A lot of weird stuff is going on. And Bobby's heard some interesting information. I've heard some, and I think I just want to portray a little bit of that.
Okay.
Okay?
Take it away.
Okay. The strangest, weirdest ass rumor that I've heard about the situation was that Elon Musk got Trump into ketamine. In ketamine, you sometimes have delusions of grandeur where you see yourself as running the world and working with others and, you know, like not just moving ships around, but like controlling where droughts are. Where climate change is happening.
Where'd you hear that one,
Coincidence
Al?
control. Well, it's an undisclosed source. I really can't tell you that
Oh, okay.
at this moment in time. But it's an interesting rumor, right?
Rumor mill has it.
I'd say conspiracy theories. That's an interesting one. Now, it's possible. I mean, we all know that Elon's been a bit into the K-hole. But
Yes. Well, we know that back pain leads to drug use and pain relief leads to addiction.
But if that's the case, then it means that Trump would go on to become emperor of the world in some way that goes beyond the normal definition of that, of emperor, some kind of
Really?
super emperor.
You think ketamine leads to being emperor of the world?
I think it can.
You mean in his own mind?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or do you think that there's really a K conspiracy that is actually controlling the future of reality?
I'm not qualified to answer that.
Yes, well, I didn't ask if you were qualified. I just asked what you believe. Belief is very personal,
Look,
you know?
look, there are a lot of clubs of people, and when groups of people get together, they have a little bit of power, and it can be in many different realms.
And so
Right?
if
It
they
could
all
be-
take K together, then they have more power, you think?
I think there is some evidence to suggest that, yeah, that there's a group consciousness that happens. Look at Pluribus, the story
Yeah,
and,
sure.
on Apple TV right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's talking about a human group mind, and I think one of the things that they don't point out there that there are a lot of smaller group minds, that it's not just one big group mind like it is in Pluribus, but there are many. And each club, in a sense, has a group mind.
Sure.
You know,
yeah.
that has common. And humans breathe life into their creations, including their organizations. Organizations are living, breathing things in many ways
Yeah, absolutely.
and transcend normal human limitations. You know, corporations live longer than people, for example.
Yes, so that's why we're giving them more rights
Yeah.
than people.
Probably Cuba would be next.
That's what Mark
Right,
Rubio said. I think the quote was, if I were based in Havana, I'd be worried right now. That was what he said.
Yeah. My understanding is that Venezuela ships Cuba the crude, and then Cuba refines it and sells the refined products, and that's a big part of their economy. It's because they have the refineries. Probably
Which is
Russian.
why they've
right?
been, the U.S. military has been stopping the oil ships because they are prevented under sanctions, U.S. sanctions.
Well, sanctions are one thing. Actually stopping ships is another. And the blockade actually will disrupt Cuba's economy and possibly cause it to collapse.
Right. Yeah.
So it's an economic
so
pressure
no
to
drugs,
the extreme.
no oil, no drug lords, no oil confiscations.
Don't follow the money. Break the money cycle. Stop them from getting money.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and this goes back to the
Yeah.
whole idea of the Monroe Doctrine, the Donroe Doctrine.
yeah. Well, hold on a
that-
second. Bobby has a comment on this.
Okay, go ahead.
It's true. And what happened after World War II and the petrodollar came into that
Dominance,
point.
yeah, the G7.
Yeah.
Sure.
So what was happening recently is since Maduro took over, he lost the election. Like 70% of the populace had voted for this other woman.
Machado.
So Russia came in and took over. It just allowed Maduro, who was president before, to come back in and take over the country, even though he was not the popular vote. And since then, in 2018, they had exported 73 tons of gold in 2018 out of Venezuela.
The Maduro
And-
administration.
The Maduro, yes. And it's going straight to, it goes to Moscow and then it goes to China. So China and Russia have been
Extracting
storing
Venezuelan gold.
gold and silver, a lot of silver. And at the same time, Maduro was able to sell his, what it does is when you take all those oil fields off the world access and it's only going to China or other places that don't have oil, what it does, it causes the price of oil to go up because you've extracted a huge source of it. So now that these oil fields, this is the largest oil field in the world, 300 billion tons of oil.
Really?
That's what I've heard. But it's really thick oil, too. It's not like light crude.
Yes,
It
but-
requires
but-
refinement.
But the refineries in the Gulf Coast, Texas and Louisiana,
They're designed to handle that, huh?
they're designed to handle because that's
Yeah.
the same type of oil that comes out of Canada.
Oh.
Yeah,
and
this.
it's shale oil.
Yes.
And so they're able to process this. But Cuba was processing it anyway.
Yeah, probably with Russian refinery technology. Yeah.
And so what they were doing is they were converting some of this oil to tether to stable coins.
Oh,
And then
right.
from the stable coins, they were collecting Bitcoin. So supposedly there's a guy that is running the Bitcoin operation for Maduro. His name is Alex Saab, like the car, Saab. he's Latin, of course, Alex Zoff, and he had accumulated $60 billion worth of Bitcoin, and this is older Bitcoin, so it's probably worth 3 or 4 times that amount now. And so they're looking for him. I'm sure somebody has got this guy, because he's got the keys to the hardware wallets that contain all this.
Wow.
So
Another huge resource. Wow.
Yeah. So there was a lot of extraction happening by Russia and China
From
out of
Venezuela. Yeah.
in the last 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Gangsters.
Well, that's right. The Russians, the Chinese, and the Iranians all have their hands in the Venezuelan economy.
Yeah.
right.
Apparently.
Because Iran has oil too. So it's to their advantage to extract whatever the oil they have, they can sell it to China. And so now the 2 sources of oil that China was getting for the cheap are now eliminated.
Which
they were
was
getting it
Iran
from Venezuela, they were
and
getting it from
Venezuela.
Iran. Now it's no longer there. So China has to
Pay the
get,
world market. They have to pay
Yeah,
the price that
but-
everybody in the
but
world
the price
pays.
of oil is going to go down.
Right.
Because now we have access to
A
as
larger
before,
supply.
A larger supply. So you're going to see at the gas stations the price of gasoline go down.
How low could it go?
Russia operates, it takes them $50 a barrel to extract it out of the ground. And
So
now,
it goes below that. It's a losing proposition, you're
right,
saying.
yeah. It's been up and down from 60 to 90 in the last year or so. But now it's going to drop to about $35 a barrel. So it's going to cost them more money to extract it in Russia than it's worth for them.
And the American companies, how they respond to this?
They're all going to invest in AI instead.
Well, Chevron's going to do very well
Yeah.
because they're going to be able to go back in and restore their wells.
So they can handle the low cost for a while.
Yes.
We're talking
Anyway,
about a
it's
10-year adaptation while they rebuild the infrastructure
Yeah.
and extract the oil. But right now it's a fraction of what it could be. And when they add in what it will be, then the total market changes.
They're extracting 1/3 of what they had in 2018. So in 2018, they had 2/3 more extraction of oil. So that will go back up pretty quickly.
Yeah. Except that the refining, if Cuba is going to be blockaded, how is the Venezuelan oil going to be refined?
They're just going to ship it right to Texas and Louisiana. And
Right to the
refineries.
American.
Yeah. And
I guess it was an American capitalist.
I mean, it sort of sheds light on why the very first thing that Trump did was rename the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America.
It's
You
part
know,
of this-
he just has
part of
this
this-
map in his brain that's the whole Western Hemisphere. And so he is going to insist that everybody in the Western Hemisphere play ball with America.
Well, North America is one, South America is one. It's all consolidated into a oneness in his mind.
Yeah, well, that's not exactly,
not exactly
how
our
unity
oneness.
works. Unity is a little bit more
But it has a lot of parallels.
individuals decide.
Yeah.
It's not like one leader
No, but
insists.
there's a primordial force of oneness pulling in inside his consciousness. That's pulling it in.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature, Mr. Beale.
Yeah, he definitely sees the global picture and he sees his place in it as the head of America. And America's interests are what drive his urgencies. But like Napoleon, he's a general and a generalist and an authoritarian, and then he's got lots of people working for him, and then he lets them tell him how to win.
Well, yeah, you've watched The Apprentice.
It is. It's
See
The
how it works?
Apprentice. It's
Yeah.
The Apprentice with America as the biggest corporation, as the survivors that are not going to lose.
Yeah.
as far as China is concerned, this is what happened over the weekend and what's happening now in Iran. It's completely a nightmare for both Russia and China because China had put in $60 billion in this oil infrastructure in Venezuela, and they were planning to build another canal through Nicaragua, and now that's vaporized. There's no longer any possibility of a new canal in Nicaragua because there's no reason. They wanted to ship that oil to China. So,
Yeah, forget it.
yeah.
Well, that would be interesting to have another canal, competing one. I mean, the Chinese were trying to control the Panama Canal, as it were. Yeah. And short of that, I guess having another canal that's yours makes sense.
Yeah, there was a billionaire that was out of Hong Kong, and he's actually a capitalist, but he actually owned the two ports on both sides of the
Panama Canal.
And also in the Pacific.
Yeah.
And he was asked to sell that to an American company. And so now America owns Panama again. Yeah.
All right, well, the times
Keep on evolving.
we are born in interesting times, people. This is what I call the big dissolve to evolve, because it's not like any individual among us has real control. We have real control over our immediate sphere of influence and the people we love and the places we put our attention. But when it comes to the world of the megalopolis players, we're barnacles on the boat.
Well, wait a minute here. We have access to information. I mean, what about Elizabeth April? She puts it all out there. That's part of our network. She's a remote viewer. She can actually put her consciousness into a remote location and tell us about it. And she's been fascinated with this whole Venezuelan thing and I'm trying to report about it.
Essentially, if we think about the shadow government, there is an opposite to the shadow government called the White Hats. They are essentially here to help support the rebirth of a new system and a new structure, here to help the development and advancement of the people in society.
But from a remote viewer's point of view.
April, and I have total respect for her gifts, and I also feel that what she sees is personal. Some of what she sees is filtered through her own fears, like everyone else. And
so you're just saying that. But you know what I do see, though, and it's the same vision that I have with the future here, is that people start becoming more aware of their larger selves. They become more aware of their cosmic selves.
Imagine having everyone having access to remote viewing, to the ability to tap into the universal source codes of all information. Imagine that. Focus on that. Show up for that. That's how you change the world.
yeah.
And as more people wake up to what an incredible cosmos we're in, and we're amazing beings in it, and see what they're capable of, they'll forget about a lot of these stories that are way less interesting.
Right.
And way less fun to play.
The benefit of that is that you don't give your power away.
Yeah.
Because as a divine being, you have the power of your soul to do what's yours to do. And you're here for that. And you can get hijacked by people distracting you and telling you something that is not helpful to you and your beliefs. And then you can give your energy, you can work for the wrong side just through not believing in yourself.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, hopefully that
It doesn't happen too often.
Well, I think more people have been waking up to their own soul power in our lifetime than ever before in history.
Yeah, I do like the often wrong but never in doubt approach.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Oh, my goodness.
Boy. All right.
As
Well, hey, we're
getting close.
to
Before
our
I bring in
main-
our guests,
Yeah.
I want to mention that there's a reconfiguration of SpaceX's constellation. They have 11,000 satellites, 14,000 when it's done, and they're going to move them into a lower Earth orbit. The whole
Okay.
14,000 of them moving down. And from what they're saying is that they've basically designed a three-dimensional, multi-lane freeway going and crisscrossing the space, like a 3D ocean. Each of these channels, each of these are satellites, and they'll cover the entire planet in a grid. And that at a lower altitude, there'll be better communications with the ground, for one thing, because they're closer.
Sure.
And it's gradual. They have little plasma engines on board each one of these 14,000 craft. They'll be put into this super highway system that they'll have way less crashes and way less stuff. Apparently there's a lot of stuff in the higher altitudes, the higher orbits,
So
that
they're
they can
going
collide
from
with.
341 miles up to about 298 miles up. So they're coming down 40 miles
Yeah.
closer to the Earth.
Yeah, so fewer debris objects, better communications. Those are the two main reasons that they're saying that at the end of 25, they'll have 9,400 of them working. I guess that's now. And 8,000 Starlinks in operational service. And
All right. Well, that's almost 2/3 of the goal. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, and there's another reason. The sun is starting to quiet down. It's at the end of its 11-year solar cycle.
Yeah.
And the decline in solar activity has the knock-on effect of reducing air density in the uppermost layers of the Earth's atmosphere.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And so they need a little thicker atmosphere.
Well, they need less atmosphere.
Less atmosphere. Well,
Yeah, they will encounter less aerodynamic drag. The atmosphere will come closer in to the planet.
okay.
They'll have less atmosphere as the solar cycle. When the solar cycle is high,
know, it's
it sucks the
counterintuitive.
atmosphere out
Oh.
into space. And when it gets low, the atmosphere goes closer to the Earth.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to think about that. That really
Yeah,
twists
that
my
the
brain.
high out, they're stimulated more.
Counterintuitive.
Right, the high energy of the sun stimulates the atmosphere more and makes it expand.
Right. It makes it expand.
Yeah.
So there's more of it higher up.
Yeah, that was one of the
Okay.
problems. Some of the sats in the Starlink network were too close. They didn't get high enough, and the solar activity caused more atmosphere to be up there and reached the satellites and caused them to degrade in their orbits.
Okay,
See,
but
'cause
now we're
atmosphere.
lowering them all.
Yeah, now we're lowering, but we're lowering them all to a safe distance for this time in the solar cycle. So if the solar cycle suddenly got bad again, it might not be good for this idea.
Yeah. Stephen Burns is saying that
Yeah.
the solar cycle, we're just getting into the peak, and the peak is going to be this year.
Oh yeah, well they're saying it's like over.
Yeah,
So
they say
what's the truth here?
2024. These cycles don't have to follow the 11-year cycle. They can shift it a year or two.
And you know,
That's true.
I'm
That's true.
really a little confused too about like which part of the cycle is relevant here, because there's what is it called? The coronal mass ejections. So that's a certain kind of plasma being injected into the world. There's also whatever is affecting our magnetosphere and charging up the atomic sublayers of the atmosphere. And there's also things like heat. Space travel is a very new and unique kind of engineering, and it has rules that most of us aren't very familiar with.
Think 3D.
Yeah.
Well,
3D and cosmic rays.
Yeah, think protons and neutrons. Electrons are so small, and yes, there's electrons coming off, but it's the big particles are these neutrons and protons, and the protons are charged positive, and that's when you see these aurora borealises. You know, sometimes they'll float to the North Pole, sometimes they'll float to the South Pole of the Earth. So these are actual particles from these solar mass ejections, these solar flares that are happening. And Stephen Burns is saying, you ain't seen nothing yet. I mean, in the next couple of months, we're going to see a whole bunch of these flares and solar mass ejections.
Stephen Burns is another YouTube influencer.
We had the coronal hole on the sun with the open magnetic field connecting all three planets together. I was like, this has to do something. It was transequatorial, which means that we're really getting hit. It was big, so we're going to be in it for a while. High-speed solar wind. And then we had that first big earthquake of 2025, the 7.7 in Myanmar. It's like, boom, there we go.
He is an amazing meteorologist.
Geophysicist, I think he calls himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he predicts space weather and even earthquakes. I just recently listened to his prediction. He is very much trying to develop a model of understanding the history of earthquakes and what things have been correlated in terms of seeing earthquakes around the Earth and what the timing of them is with respect to each other, because there's a relationship between the earthquakes that happen in, say, Alaska and Mexico and the earthquakes that happen in California. And there's also a relationship between the earthquakes happening in the antipodal part of the planet, which would be like in the Indian Ocean, and the earthquakes that are happening here. And he's got some very interesting analysis.
Yeah, his holistic approach is a breath of fresh air in that world.
And he ties them to solar flares.
Yeah, he really connects everything. He's a good connector. He
Yeah.
sees a lot of pieces to the puzzle.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, he, I think, gives a better understanding of the Schumann resonance than just about anybody in the...
Stefan Burns, S-T-E-F-A-N,
internet.
I think.
Yeah.
Stefan.
Yeah.
Burns, like
25
Mr. Burns.
hertz. Just remember the Schumann resonance. There's a resonant frequency at 25 hertz going on right now. That
Oh, I
hasn't
thought it
been
was
here
8 hertz,
before.
the Schumann resonance.
Yeah, well, it is, but then you have these multiples, and
25 hertz, huh?
He shows it on one of the graphs. All of a sudden, there's an appearance at 25 hertz.
And it's connected with the Schumann resonance.
Yeah, if you remember in film and video editing, film runs at 24 frames a second. Video that is European CCAM runs at 25 instead of 30 frames.
Yeah.
So I think those countries that have video running at 25 frames are going to have their third eye opened up from this.
Really? Is that a Bobby prediction here?
Yeah.
25. Get your old CCAM TV receivers out of the closet in France.
Your frames per second are going to
25
be
frames
illuminating.
Well, no, but I mean, the brain is really aware of frequency modulation.
Yeah. So what? Our extra 5 frames per second is just slop?
Well, the idea is that it's faster. You have like 50 or 60, it's even better because it's smoother.
Right.
You can do sports. You can do,
well.
Yeah. One final thing on the Starlink before our break here concerning the expansion.
Our break was 5 minutes ago, but okay go ahead.
SpaceX this year will be using their new super heavy Starship rocket to launch these satellites instead of the little Falcon 9.
Oh,
so even though they did 165 missions last year, 165 Falcon 9 missions, they'll be able to do far fewer and get more satellites up with the new super heavy Starship.
Wow.
Look forward to seeing that. And they're also introducing a new version, of course, of the Starlink satellites called V3. And they're too big to fit in Falcon 9. They're a larger size with more capacity. So that's to look forward to this year. Okay, now let's take our break and we'll introduce you to our guest who's been waiting patiently in the background.
All right, so hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back.
Cannabis is one of nature's most beneficial plants. Hello, I'm Jenna. Treehouse Dispensary, we use information about cannabis to build community. Listen to Carly.
Thanks, Jenna. For those who wake up in the middle of the night, Treehouse suggests a THC CBN chocolate edible blend like Sleepy Time from Sensi Chew. Sleep the night away.
For answers to your cannabis questions, ask your friends at Treehouse Dispensary, 3651 Soquel Drive in Soquel, or ourtreehouse.io.
Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-704-1662. 800-704-1662. That's 800-704-1662.
Attention content producers. You can have access to a complete digital media production facility at Satellite Co-working and Digital Media Studio on Soquel Avenue. Easily rent video and audio equipment, a studio with green screen, editing suite, and audio booth, all at can't say no rates. Schedule a tour to see for yourself at satellitecoworking.com. Mention Santa Cruz Voice for 20% off your first reservation.
Take a magical journey through 5,000 years of civilization with Shenyun Performing Arts.
It was absolutely riveting. Beautiful. It's very nice to see a show that concentrates on the highest and the best of humanity.
My heart is fluttering because of this performance, and it's going to be with me for the rest of my life.
See it at least once in your lifetime.
And you could see on their faces this joy, this love, this fire, this passion. It was magnificent.
San Jose and San Francisco, starting from December 24th.
Okay, welcome back to the Future Now show with son Marion McMee, Bobby Wilder, myself, Al Lundell,
and our special guest,
Kelly Durkin.
Yeah.
Kelly.
Hey.
Kelly,
live.
Bobby knows Kelly, son knows Kelly, I know Kelly. We've had many adventures together through this life. She's one of those persons that appear every so often in our lives, and when it does, it's like magic happens. And she's visiting us this week. And we just had to bring her on the air and introduce you folks to our dear friend Kelly. And she's going through a major transition. The new economy is shifting and it's changing how we make money in this world. And Kelly has done well in the past working as a media creator, working on some pretty big projects down in L.A. Virtuosity was one of the first films that you worked on with Brett Leonard.
Anyway, she has a very storied career and great mastery of the digital media.
Yeah. And the days of Macworld and Michael Gosney events, the digital be-ins.
It's true. We always loved being part of Kelly's media band, where
And
we would
that's-
do visuals for various festivals up in the Bay Area.
Yeah, the Lost at Last band. We did the visuals for Lost at Last for quite a few shows with Kelly, and created live visuals to go with the lyrics and the mood of a song that a live band was playing.
Yeah. Kelly is a great artist and just a wonderful, brilliant tech chick.
Yeah, thank you. It was really ahead of our time. I do have to say, I wasn't much a part of the digital being, just to correct that. But I was an attendee, an enthusiastic attendee there. I did not actually work there. Yes, doing the Harmony Festival videos and working with bands.
It seems to me the ones that we did were the Harmony Festival.
Harmony, okay, yeah. That was probably the most memorable, for sure. Okay, well, given that, and you would think that that would be a great career to continue. The Institute of Noetic Sciences, you're doing media there, interviews with all kinds of amazing people in the frontiers of consciousness.
Yeah, definitely a psychonaut exploring the universe of psychology.
One of the things that caught my attention was that you're now very interested in the whole drone phenomenon and the drone universe and working more in that arena rather than staring at screens all day.
And all of the various camera and sensor attachments that go with it. It's a whole universe
It
out
is,
there.
yeah. And I thought you could maybe bring our audience up to speed a little bit about what's going on in the drone world.
Sure, yeah. Well, I was interested enough to make the effort to study for my Part 107 license, which is the FAA remote pilot license. So I have my license, and I'm actually just starting to get into more advanced drone techniques like 3D mapping. I'm just now getting into it. It's very exciting. There's so many things one can do.
Yeah. I remember we played with drones in the early days.
Yeah.
When they first came out, those are like the Parrot drone, little toy ones you could have in the house. I remember you came with me on some adventures with them where none of my other friends would. You know how few friends I could take on a drone expedition, but you were there, Kelly.
Well, you trusted me. That was an honor.
Well, especially because everybody who's just learning to pilot a drone pretty much crashes at least a few times.
In the early
before
days
they get the
especially.
Back then,
hang
it was
of
pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah.
And even today, they say if you haven't crashed your drone yet, you haven't really learned how to fly.
That's right. Never mind losing one. And I've lost one this year even.
That's right.
So, yeah, that was one of the problems. When they're small, they're easier to lose. Keep that in mind. So drones have been evolving over the last 10 years especially, and they're reaching a point where it's becoming a key part of our infrastructure, of our technical infrastructure of our society. As you were mentioning, there are many different professions all using them.
Yeah.
So which aspect of it has your attention, Kelly? What do you find yourself, what you want to do with the drone?
There's so many, but I really love using drones for imaging, for 3D mapping, spatial mapping, which can be used for architecture and city planning.
You mean like you'd take a picture of a building from the outside?
Well, you create, using either photogrammetry or creating orthomosaics, you can create accurate, measurable maps that you can use for decision making when it comes to architecture and city planning.
I mean, you can look at an area and see if a building is appropriate for that ground, or you can see how tall you can build it.
There's height mapping, volumetric mapping, correct. Yeah. It's incredible what's being done with agriculture. I mean, you can use drones to check your crops, but even check an individual tree. You can vary, because water resources and nutrient resources are expensive. So if you can individually target a tree in an orchard by knowing which one it is by flying your drone over.
How can you identify it? By its overall shape or
well, they're in grids.
Color? Or
So the grid is identified.
Oh, it's the GPS coordinates.
Right. And the farmer knows, because each tree is being individually irrigated. So they
individually?
So they can target a particular tree with more nutrients, less nutrients, more water, less.
Wow.
Like that.
Kind of like personalized medicine for us.
You can see problems with the health of plants before it's visible. There's like technology like such as NDVI and in multispectral imaging where you actually can see the stress of plants before it's visible to the visible spectrum.
Yeah.
So.
And you can do regular rounds over your trees and see how they're doing day by day. looking at how you might adapt their
Right.
feeding protocols.
And you can spray. I mean, drones are used for spraying as well. It's regulated, but it's actually allowed now.
How much can they carry? These drones are pretty
Well, the fixed wing drones, I don't have the exact number in my head right here, but they can carry a lot. It's not the quadcopters. The quadcopters are more limited because they have the electric batteries.
You've just given me a question. Is a drone defined by a particular type of remote technology? Is it any flying plane, or is it just a particular prop type?
No, a drone could be underwater. A drone could be on the land. It's a remotely operated device.
Okay.
Device is not quite specific enough. There's probably a more specific definition than
remotely
that.
piloted vehicle. That's
There
one
we
term
go.
they use,
Yeah.
Remote piloted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So it could be a plane, it could be a helicopter, it could be an underwater.
They can be submarines that are,
Yeah,
or
submarines.
torpedoes.
Yeah.
But that's what Ukraine has sank quite a few.
Could be a piece of
ships
flubber
in the Black Sea with that.
Yeah.
With these drones. Yeah.
So it's just any remote controlled vehicle. So it's really the art of the remote control and then specialized by vehicle.
Well, that's part of
Yeah,
it.
so there's UUVs, unmanned underwater vehicle. There's USVs, unmanned surface vehicles. And there's UAVs, which is the license that I have, which is for the aerial vehicle, unmanned aerial vehicle. Now, they're trying to change the unmanned at this point, but for right now, it's still unmanned.
Does that mean if you're a woman, it's like the rules don't apply? Or?
What are we going to do? Unhuman?
I don't know.
And what about the autonomous stuff coming in? Are they drones? Well, I guess they're unmanned.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Autonomous drones, I guess, would be the term. And then there's the large ones like Joby Aviation here in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, I mean, is there a difference between a drone and, say, like a Waymo vehicle?
Okay, just to clarify, it's uncrewed is the term we're trying to get in is uncrewed.
Uncrewed.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you don't have to change the acronym.
Okay.
CREWED rather than CRUDE.
Yeah.
Like in the Venezuela story.
Yeah.
Okay, so uncrewed. But they could carry passengers soon, though. The drone would that big enough
There
to
are some, yeah. Actually, it's quite exciting. They have, in China they have it. And even in Texas, there's one now, there's an experimental one that apparently you don't even have to have any training at all and you can fly it.
Wow.
And motorcycle type drones, too.
Yeah.
It's huge. Now, you yourself are focusing on the ones that you can possibly make a living with.
Camera drones.
Camera drones. Yeah, initially they were camera drones because that was one of the first great sensors for the drones. But for a personal drone, what kind of sensors can you have beyond a normal camera?
Well, there's thermal imaging, and that's something I'm very much interested in because I don't know if there's a lot of money to be made, but making a difference is important to me as well. And wildlife management or being able to identify where the animals, mapping and counting animals is one of the important uses of drones.
So paint a picture here for me. What would it look like if you were flying a drone and you were using thermal imaging over a forest? Would you see the animals in the forest? Would you?
You would see their heat prints.
Like where they're sitting or feeding or
they're moving, right?
Moving. So you could watch migrations or motion.
You could, yes. You can even use them for counting, which is very difficult.
Population. Monitoring.
Right.
So it'd be like terrain management for cougars or something like that, or
See where the cougars
wolves,
live, maybe.
Wild herds of buffalo. These are the kinds of scenarios that could be monitored by drones.
Seems like hunters would be interested in this tech too.
Well, it seems like hunters would need to be restrained from using this kind of tech.
Yes.
Well, it's kind of like how they're used in the Ukraine. Hey. Yeah. We're looking at the civilian use of the drones.
Yeah.
They're also, my understanding, they've been quite useful to CAL FIRE.
Right. The fires that have been happening up here in Northern California, lives were saved by the drones, by drone use, and they had to create systems on the fly because the fires that were happening, like the Camp Fire, the Paradise Fire, these fires were unprecedented. They couldn't get airplanes and helicopters in there, so people were stranded. Drones were used to locate them.
Wow.
What about the legislation regarding drones?
That's it. What is it? 70-80% of the drones are Chinese? Or DJI, from one specific company?
Well,
DJI?
The 80% of consumer drones in the United States are DJI drones.
How did they get such a market share?
Well, They are really good drones. You get much more for less money with a DJI drone. They are reliable. They just work. They're easy to use, and the price point can be half the cost of a comparable drone.
So if you're talking about a drone that you could use for professional projects, what are we talking about? $2,000?
Yes, you'll see them for $1,000. Well, now it's going to be a little different because there's going to be more limited access to Chinese
So it'll be more expensive.
drones. They will go up. But you'll see the drone itself for about $1,000, $1,100. But the accessories are important. I mean, a battery is $150, and a battery will give you about 30 minutes. So you want a lot of batteries.
Yeah. And the thermal camera, I guess, if you want to get a thermal camera. Or what about LiDAR?
Right. Well, currently on prosumer drones, LiDAR is used for obstacle detection.
And avoidance.
Right? And it's very successful. That LiDAR is not the kind of LiDAR that you could use in the Amazon to find old archaeological
sites
and roads and things like that. No, that's a different,
a
different level.
Yeah, it is. You can find hidden roads and stuff.
But you can use LiDAR on the prosumer drones to do measurements. Now, LiDAR is exceptionally good at doing precision measurements.
Yeah, there's a big controversy in the autonomous vehicle universe where Elon refused to put LiDAR in the Teslas while the other companies all did, like Waymo.
And Uber.
Yeah.
And so in terms of the Mark Rober tests of autonomous vehicle safety, Waymo's and the LiDAR machines passed the child avoidance test better than the Teslas.
Well, until the latest software
Didn't
upgrade.
you just take a picture and put it like a billboard across the road? And it faked
he
out
did
the
like a
video
laser, a canvas the size of a cinema screen that simulated the environment, and then they would introduce an obstacle at the last minute to see how the various autonomous vehicles responded. They would introduce rain, or they would introduce a sudden tire rolling across the road, or another vehicle coming in the other direction, and they would measure the responsiveness to unforeseen
using LiDAR
conditions.
or cameras like in a Tesla.
But the most significant one regarding loss of life was having a human run into the road suddenly. And the LiDAR was absolutely spot on, definitely avoided the collision. The video detectors did not.
They're great to have, but they were expensive. They're expensive to have. I think the cost has come way down on LiDAR since those tests.
Well, from what I heard from Waymo is in order for them to have all the LiDAR and the microwave and the things that are spinning on top of that whole unit is $100,000. So they put it on top of a Jaguar.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's not practical.
And here, Tesla's just using video cameras.
Right, and getting 99% of the results except for hitting the kid running out on the road.
In the future, it's just going to be a monthly download that can upgrade the computer system and it will do automatic autopilot, auto driving, just with a software download.
Yeah, and video will improve and resolution and detection of motion and frame rates and all that. It could be we don't need LiDAR, but it's nice to have, especially if it's like inclement weather, like very foggy. And cameras have a problem with that.
So what do you think is the market? Kelly, what do you think is the future of drones and their sensors? What do you think is going to be the new jobs that are coming out of that?
Right. Well, currently they are used successfully your question is new jobs.
Or even existing jobs. More of existing
jobs.
Right.
I mean, construction inspections is huge. Search and rescue is a serious area, and that's where you need the thermal imaging because you're looking for, even looking for a lost dog, or looking for a lost child. That's a use right there that is common right now.
Well, I just read in new jobs with drones, and first one comes up and says drone operator, Scout AI in Sunnyvale. Flight test operator, drone electrical assembly technician. 576 drone jobs in California. 15 new on LinkedIn.
Okay. That's not very many.
576. It's up and coming, Kelly. Yeah, you could be one of those 576.
Well, usually it's often an in-house thing. For example, in a vineyard, if you had a drone operator at your vineyard, if you had a large vineyard, you'd not only use it for crop health, but you could use it for marketing as well. Cinematography is the number one thing that often comes to people's minds.
Right.
And
of course.
if you look at television and movies now, it's every one of them has drone shots. I mean, it's hard. You can't watch a TV show that doesn't have a drone shot.
Drone shots and AI shots. They're everywhere.
No, until you come up with Nano Banana and Veo 3 and just create a simulated drone shot that looks photorealistic.
Right.
Until then, that's great. Well, look at this. Here's one. It says, how much do Walmart drone pilots make? Walmart.
What?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
And the AI says the estimated average salary for a drone pilot at Walmart is $95,502 a year.
What?
Or $46 an hour.
How many Walmart pilots are there?
I don't know, but
What does they
do?
Yeah. And some professionals reported up to $174,769 per year. Drone pilot at Walmart. So I guess if Walmart's going to have them, then...
Is this delivery? I don't know. What is?
No, you can't deliver. Well, not in the United States. You have to have line of sight.
Then what's the AI telling me here then?
I don't know what that is. Did it make that up?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Look, it has very specific amounts for the money. Walmart drone pilot. I don't know.
Well, in geology, it is extremely useful.
Right.
Yeah.
Mapping terrain is a huge area. Erosion risk identification, drainage planning.
Wow, sure. Amazing.
Yep.
All right.
Detecting uneven irrigation.
Oh, yeah. Look at what Curiosity and Endurance did on Mars, right? We have a much better idea of what's going on.
And we had that little helicopter on Mars, too.
That was Endurance, right? Wasn't it?
Ingenuity.
Oh, Endeavor. Ingenuity.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's true. They're going to be using such craft for exploring the moons of Jupiter.
Right. We're about to go for a little top of the hour break.
Yeah, as far as we know, we'll be back.
Okay, so stay tuned.
How about earthquakes? Do you think?
I don't think we're going to have one in the next 6
No,
minutes.
I mean drones and earthquakes.
Just saying.
Okay.
Are we off now?
Yeah.
No.
But we are now in a minute.
No, we're
Seconds.
10 seconds.
Mrs. Future likes to start the leave
It's
early.
a
She like,
30-second
it's a long goodbye.
warning.
Very
Well,
nice.
better than just ending in middle of the sentence.
That's true. Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Hello. We're back.
Come on, Sonny.
Okay,
So
what
we're doing-
else?
Well, one of the things that came up during the break about the drones, Ms. Kelly is a drone pilot, looking at all the issues that are involved with this particular choice of profession, was the privacy issues. Drones have a bad rap around that.
Yes.
Well,
And-
I mean, the Barbara Streisand effect was all about the lack of privacy that happened when drones first came out and people were going above her property in Malibu and looking down at her, and she sued them for violation of privacy, and the fact that she brought attention to it caused her to get even more people flying drones over her property, and there was nothing she could do about it. So yeah, drones and privacy is pretty famous from the very beginning.
Yeah,
of
the first time I
drone
even saw that idea was a Rudy
revolution.
Rucker science fiction story, where the aliens had a hummingbird type drone. Yeah, it was kind of he's able to go and watch people talking in the hot tub and stuff like that. It was dragonfly drone. I think.
Drones are fantastic. I got into drones initially because I love the feeling of flying. It is, to me, a thrill. Some people love water. I just love the air. And what are those suits? Those fly suits where they go down the sides
Like in
of
Switzerland?
mountains. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that is attractive to me, but I don't want to die like that. So
One
I'm
slight
flying-
move
I fly
wrong.
drones
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah.
The reality is with the law is that the FAA controls the space a fraction of a millimeter above the ground in your backyard.
Oh.
So legally, you can fly anywhere. There's different classifications of airspace.
Yeah.
But if you're in a unclassified airspace, you can fly up to a fraction of a millimeter above your neighbor's backyard, in his backyard, in her backyard.
So your neighbors don't own their airspace, huh?
No, nobody owns their airspace. Now, that said, there's a privacy law. And
If I see
I'm
a
not
drone in my
I'm
window-
not advocating anybody do this.
Yeah.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that the law allows it as long as you're not invading that person's privacy. And what is the definition of that? Okay. Well, if they're not home, you're not invading their privacy.
Oh,
It's
okay.
only if you're seeing them. Now, the law is vague about what constitutes this invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
If the person feels like their privacy is,
That's of concern.
then
Right.
that
Yeah.
is the definition.
Yeah.
So if you bother somebody, but it depends. But if you're really high up looking down, then that person can't say that you're invading their privacy.
Because you can see a whole bunch of people. They're all invaded equally.
Right. Or you could have the zoom lens on your drone and you could be seeing much more closely than it may appear.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. We started dealing with this at Burning Man when we had this super security camera that could be remotely controlled up on a big tower.
They didn't want Burning Man to be public.
And Media Mecca. And people could come in and zoom into various camps and watch.
Well,
But
there goes
that
your
was-
freedom. As soon as you have a public audience, then your individual freedom is sacrificed to the moral norms of the audience.
And a drone can be hooked to mass media pretty easily. Right? So, like the helicopters for doing the traffic reports.
Now, if you have a roof over something in your backyard, for example, your garden or your shed, a drone is not allowed to go under that and inspect. You're only allowed to look straight down.
But you are allowed to look straight. How high above the house do you have to be?
Here's the thing. There's a gray zone. So
As long as you're undetectable, I guess it's the safest, right?
Yeah.
Because I noticed the little DJI Mini 4, people can't hear it when it's much above 100 feet.
Right. Can't hear it, huh?
Super quiet.
They've gotten quieter over the years.
Yeah.
The better quality drones are quieter. I had the DJI Mini 2 a while back, and it was very loud. The Air 3S is a purr.
Much quieter,
Is a gentle purr compared to the Mini 2, yeah.
Really? And it's a bigger plane, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think we need to take privacy seriously because we don't want drones to get regulated and banned unreasonably. We need to create public trust, which is going to be very difficult. Because
Yeah, well.
that's almost impossible because the problem is there's a lot of rogue drone pilots out there that break that trust. And
Yeah, well, that's the issue. The lousy 2%.
right, and they're breaking it for all the people that want to do it responsibly. And
Yeah,
there
for
is
everybody else.
responsible drone flying. And technically you don't have to ask your neighbor if you're going to fly over, but it's recommended that you do.
So
It's kind of like if you're going to throw a loud party next door, you should invite the neighbors.
Yeah, it's only polite, right?
You're going to do what you're going to do, but preserve the goodwill as best you can.
Right.
At least give them a copy of the footage if they want it.
That's right. You can do a roof inspection for them as a bonus.
Well, there you go. See, the home improvement the roof makes a lot of sense there.
Uh-huh.
You can see if there's any problems on the roof.
Right. I'd like to trade it. Where I live up in Sebastopol, there's a lot of homes that have incredible resources because they were subdivisions of farms, for example, persimmon trees and apple trees, and there's so much fruit that falls on the ground. I'd like to trade roof inspections for free fruit in the fall.
Ooh, there you go. That sounds like a good offer.
Can you also track some of the critters in your neighborhood?
Yeah, I don't have thermal imaging on my drone, but
if you could, if you did,
I'm seriously thinking about doing this. And yes, you can. You can map wildlife in parks. Thermal imaging, it's not a huge challenge to realize that when you see a heat map or a heat print, that it has to be a warm-blooded animal. Now, there are also some experimental uses of trying to find plastic landmines using drones. Because over 20,000 people a year are affected by
So looking at
because they
minefields.
They heat up faster than the soil when they get hit by the sun. So there's some successful experiments that have been using them for that.
For detecting blind. Can they blow them up too?
No.
it's somebody else's job.
And that's another good point. A lot of people say, "Hey, can I shoot that drone that's above my house?"
Oh yeah.
No, you cannot.
You're not allowed
it's
to.
Against the law. Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of techniques being developed to take down drones now, too. Is it against the law to use them? Ones that interfere with the controller?
If it does damage to the drone, yes.
Yeah, it causes you to lose control.
You're damaging someone else's property. No, that is illegal.
That's illegal, too, right? And make it land. Just make it land. One I've seen throws nets over the drone.
Yeah, although it doesn't work very well.
The net thing?
No,
well, what's wrong with that?
It's very imprecise. I've watched some of those YouTube tests.
Sad, huh?
Yeah. It's an interesting idea that maybe the technology will improve, but right now it's not viable.
No, I've seen one, is it a sliming one, like in Ghostbusters?
Oh, I don't know about that one.
You slime of a drone and it...
But drone jamming
it's a big thing,
is
right?
a reality, yeah, and especially would useful in military to be able to protect against attack drones.
Yes.
You have your drone up in the air with drone jammer, and you can stop their drones. So when it comes to the military, that's a whole other area. But yeah.
Now, they've been used in rescue operations. You're saying that they drop a life preserver in the water?
Right, yeah. For ocean swimmers, there are many examples of drones being used to drop life preservers out to them so that the lifeguard has extra time to get to the person. And if the person is missing, drones are used to go out and find the person first, carrying the life preserver, and then dropping it.
Dropping it off there, yeah.
Right.
Now, some people are confused by the FPV designation on a drone. Are you familiar with that? Yeah,
Right.
Can you
First
explain
person
that what that is to the uninitiated?
Sure. Well, the FPV drone is a drone that is almost like virtual reality, except it's an actual
It's real.
flying,
Yeah.
right, a device out there. So you're looking through goggles and you are the eyes of the drone. People with vertigo have a hard time with this.
Yeah, I bet.
But there are people that really are amazing. They can do acrobatic moves and even there's some infamous shots of people that can land their drone on moving trains and actually can even fly under the train as the train is going.
Wow.
Like get it perfectly aligned with the train moving and fly under, even hover underneath, or go inside of a boxcar, hang out, go out. These are illegal, but
amazing what you can do.
Amazing the power.
Yeah, our friend Zoe Stombaugh, she's a drone pilot, loves to build 3D drones. That's where they can turn upside down.
Right.
And fly in reverse and flip and get into tight spots.
There's actually a drone racing as a sport. It's an international sport.
Has it been accepted by as such? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's actually every year. I don't know about every year, but I believe it's every year drone racing, and they go across continents. They move all around the world when they do these races.
Wow.
Big prizes, and they're very exciting to watch. They're incredible. I mean, these pilots, it's like Olympic level precision they can do. Now, you can't do it in the United States without a permit because we have a visual line of sight law.
What's that law?
VLOS. You cannot fly a drone outside of your visual line of sight. And the problem with the FPV drone is that you have zero. Your vision doesn't count because you're not looking at the drone.
Wow.
You're basically the eyes inside the drone. So you're required to have what's called a visual observer. And they must be able to see the drone at all times and be able to communicate with you without any aid, no electronic means.
Now, they developed all these rules to reduce possible accidents. Is that
right?
Is that the rationale behind it? And yet other countries don't have this rule.
That's right. That's right. Like, for example, in Romania, they used drones to fly 100 kilometers, STD tests, at a big music festival, the Electric Castle Festival, in 2024, and they allowed
STD tests at it.
Right, because it was a 5-day camping festival, and in Romania, people didn't have access. The teens and early 20-year-olds didn't have access to that kind of health education. And so they got to this festival, and
they did.
They wanted to find out if they were safe.
I'm green, man. Let me go.
They flew these drones 100 kilometers, so they don't have that law. Also, in Rwanda, Zipline delivers medicine to remote communities. They don't have the VLOS law. It's a BLOS law, beyond line of sight. So yeah, we don't have that, and that's why we can't have drone deliveries in this country right now.
Wow. Fascinating.
So what about that Walmart drone pilot?
I don't know what that is all about.
Walmart's in Canada?
Requires further investigation.
That may be a hallucination, Al.
No, I see. No, that was Google, man. That's Gemini. That shouldn't have hallucinations.
Gemini has hallucinations with the best of them.
Okay. What about hippie farmers? Could they use it for transporting weed?
Well, if you want to be illegal, but you can't carry a lot. I mean, I suppose, you could with a fixed wing drone.
Yeah.
You could, sure. But it wouldn't be legal to even do the transport.
But you're saying any kind of transport is illegal at this point. We just don't have transport drones.
Transport itself is not illegal as long as you have visual line of sight. But if you have visual line of sight, you could just walk it over.
Yeah, why bother, right?
Yeah. I guess if you're going up a mountain or something, I suppose.
So visual line of sight.
When have people trying to transport weed been worried first about what the law is?
Well, I guess invisibility would be important. You want to go over to the next ridge, or you want to go to where your pickup station is, or something like that. And there's no road where you were at. Just
really
thinking,
got a lot of
put your head,
details.
you go into the mind of whoever you're serving. I'm sure going over borders is a big thing in some countries, smuggling operations. We hear about the submarines, the narco submarines, and the narco boats, but what about the narco drones? They must exist. And they're cheap enough. Maybe they just don't they'd have to only carry the highest quality product.
How far do drones fly? When you're in a commercial job and you're bidding it, what are your limitations?
We have visual line of sight.
Yeah. And so
if you're
how
in the
far
United
can you
States-
see?
Well,
can you see a mile?
Yes.
You can see a mile.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's about it.
A pair of binoculars.
I think, actually, I'm not 100% sure on that.
So you can't have people spaced out a mile apart with walkie-talkies. That's
Well,
illegal.
you can't use electronic communication. That's not part of it.
Yeah. A string with a can, maybe.
A string with a can, yes.
Mile-long string.
Okay, I just looked it up. It's not a mile at all. It's 500 to 1,500 feet.
Oh, that's pretty restrictive.
Yeah.
Is that throughout the U.S.?
That's all throughout the U.S., yeah.
It seems to me it's unenforceable. You can make laws because they sound good, but when it comes down to it, the ability to enforce a law like that is going to be very unlikely.
Well, it depends on how much control you have in the enforcement. You can create it so that the drone auto-reports its flights. The drone knows where the operator is. It knows how far away from the operator it is and what height.
Right. Or if you're if you're going to post your visuals on YouTube,
which a lot of people do, right?
People do, and people can get fined.
And they want to see how far it can go on the battery. I've seen a lot of these tests.
Oh, yeah. There was a pretty famous drone photographer who was always going out and photographing the cruise ships.
Yeah,
right?
down in Florida.
Those were miles. I mean, he wasn't always 1,500 feet from his
My new DJI
quest.
Mini 4 around the Princess Sapphire.
Yeah.
And do a little pirouette around the ship.
Yeah.
And come back.
Yeah. Well, drone laws have not been enforced, but they are increasingly being enforced. And the problem is that as drones get more popular, people fly drones without the knowledge of. I mean, you don't want to have drones in the sky. You wouldn't want to walk around and have a drone everywhere you looked.
Right. Exactly.
No. What's the 249 gram limit all about?
Well, if you don't have a license, you cannot fly a drone that is over that weight.
So drone companies are seeing how much bang for the buck they can get into something under 250 grams.
Right.
And that's considered a toy?
A hobbyist.
Hobbyist, okay.
As long as you don't do it for anybody else. Like, technically, if your neighbor says, hey, can you do a roof inspection for me, and you don't have a license, you can't do it.
And you have one of these $249.
Yeah.
249 gram. They're about $249 too.
Right. $1 a gram.
You're right, $1 a gram. Is there such a thing in your mind as personal space? Like around your personal airspace?
Well, again, this is a gray zone, but I really think that it's completely inappropriate to invade somebody's personal space with your drone. And the definition is, okay, if you feel that the drone is invading your space, then basically it is.
Yeah.
If it's making you uncomfortable, it's invading your space.
Yeah, I hear you. A lot of people think of them about as fondly as yellow jackets.
Right. But if you are in an environment where you are flying it legally and you're in a public space, then any camera goes, right? So a drone is just a camera. So it's like if you're at an event and you take somebody's picture, are you invading their space? Yes, I guess. The drone is the same. So just because it's in the air doesn't mean it's any more or less invasive than your iPhone.
More or less, huh? Yeah. But they can also carry iPhones too, your drone iPhone combo.
You can.
Only within the distance that you can actually see.
VLOS.
Do you think that's going to stick, or do you think they're going to let go of that? The technology is so much better than that. The fact that you can go 10 miles with a DJI drone now is ridiculously beyond that.
One of the problems is the fact that helicopters, they can interfere with helicopters. And if it's out of your vision, what if there's an emergency helicopter and you run into it?
Yeah, the disasters are...
Right, low-flying airplanes.
Yeah.
Also...
Collisions.
Also, there's the issue of skyscrapers, the gusts, or if the drone goes out of your control. I'll have an example of that after the break.
Oh, okay.
Are education in drones more readily available in our learning institutions these days? Can you take classes?
I've taken a class. I am currently about to take my second class in advanced drone imaging at my local junior college. They have an excellent program. It's also drone education is in high schools as well.
Well, yeah. So
it can be made part of STEM education. And children are learning how to program drones. That's one of the exciting areas too. And building your own. I mean, you could build your own drone. It's not that hard. You could buy the parts and put them together. So there are courses you could make your own drone.
Yeah.
That kids are doing.
Like fun with your 3D printer. You can make your drone, right?
Yeah, but you need to buy the motors. But yeah.
Right, the motors.
And the battery.
Yeah, but those are readily available.
Right.
Currently,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's pretty much here to stay. It seems like that's the thing, is that it's a new arena that you can make a career out of. I guess we'll keep tabs on Kelly.
Yeah.
And how she's doing with that.
Well, one example you could say is like putting your phone on a selfie stick and sticking it over your neighbor's fence. You could do
That's a violation.
Right? But you don't do it, right?
Uh-huh.
So
Peeping drone.
The same sensitivity with the drone. You don't put your drone very close to your neighbor. You just
don't do
use
that.
The
Yeah.
same as
You're
sticking
asking
a
for
iPhone
trouble.
over their fence. You don't do it. You know.
All right. So should we go for a break?
Yeah, let's go for a
and
break
we'll
and
come back
do our
with some
final
more
half
stories?
hour, and we'll do some more stories too.
Okay, great. Before we go, I'm just going to do a little public service announcement for my friend Deerhart, who is hosting this Saturday, January 10th at Santa Cruz Yoga, a kirtan and dance of universal peace, which it will be a benefit for Boys to Men Mentoring, which is a 501c3 organization dedicated to helping children grow up healthy. The BTM is now mentoring 45 at-risk teen boys every week in Santa Cruz County, and we have 32 more on the wait list. There will be amazing raffle prizes, so please come. Invite friends. Again, this is at Santa Cruz Yoga, Saturday, January 10th, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. If you contact me, I can send you a flyer, but that's good enough for now. So here's a few more other items from our local Santa Cruz community coming right up.
Too much stuff? Clean it out, pack it up, and drive it to your door at Anbar Self Storage and U-Haul. Easy off Highway 1 on Airport Boulevard by the airport. 24/7 security. Drive it to the door and store it at Anbar Self Storage and U-Haul in Freedom.
Having a new job in Texas and have to move? Anbar Self Storage and U-Haul has the moving vans, car trailers, and shipping boxes you need ready to go. Easy off Highway 1 on Airport Boulevard by the airport. Anbar Self Storage and U-Haul in Freedom.
We've all heard the story of the three little pigs. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. Hi, folks. Warren Knox here of Knox Roofing. Yes, your home can definitely be built weak, or it's time to repair or remodel. Well, here at Knox Roofing, we can surely help you with getting that roof of yours prepared for the big bad wolf or Mother's Nature's anger. Whether it be fire, high winds, hail, snow, or maybe just a doggone wet winter ahead of us, call Knox Roofing. We're here for you. Here at Knox Roofing, we have every type of roof out there for you. Skylights, gutters, insulation, solar can be added to save energy as well. Financing is always available, and our guarantees and workmanship cannot be beat. Summer is here, so give us a call or stop by our showroom in Scotts Valley. The number to call is 461-0634. That's 461-0634 anytime. Okay, thanks, folks.
The IRS is knocking on the door because you owe back taxes. Don't panic. Call the tax doctor for free help getting out of IRS collections and back into the good graces of Uncle Sam. The tax doctor's service is free, and all you need to do is call 800-817-2871. That's 800-817-2871. Get free help. Call 800-817-2871.
Okay, we are back. We have a couple other stories to cover, but first we're going to complete on our drone topic here. We have a question from Greg about coaxial drones. You ever used a coaxial drone? Does that make sense to you, Kelly?
I just looked it up. So apparently UAVs are designed with dual motor or coaxial propulsion systems. Yeah. What is the question regarding coaxial?
Have you used them? I guess not. Or
I was not aware of that. No.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a simple yes or no. No.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? Let's see, Kelly, you were saving a story for after the break about drones.
So there was a man fined $20,000. He was flying in Las Vegas, and he went on top of a parking structure, and he decided to fly. Now, the problem is parking structures are a lot of steel, and what happened was, we think, his drone got disconnected from the controller.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And so basically it went off on its own.
Oh.
And it landed at the Las Vegas airport. In the airport, next to the runway, okay?
Trouble.
It drifted for 2 miles, flying over the busiest hotels there. And then he posted the video. I don't know if he posted it, but it's posted. So he got a fine, which he ignored. And then the fine built and built. And so now he is notorious for this $20,000 fine.
Oh, no.
Wow.
But,
who gets paid? Like, who's fining him?
FAA.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It says the fine is now in hands of the U.S. Treasury Department. But they're going to get him. Basically, it's coming out of his paychecks for the rest of his until he pays it.
Wow. Jeez.
Someone was flying over a Formula One race. They caught him. He was fined $15,000. You want to know the law and know where you're allowed to fly. You're not allowed to fly over 400 feet anywhere in the United States.
Right. And ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Personally, yeah, I'm glad you can still own them, though. I feel like if they take that right away, it's like taking away the right to bear arms. To not be able to have a drone. It's a way of exploring the world. It's a tool.
Texas had a law where you couldn't fly drones as a hobbyist.
Really?
Yeah. It got struck down, but it was in effect for some time.
Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. So now it's legal in all 50 states. And can you fly over national parks or state parks?
State parks are at the jurisdiction of whoever is in charge of that particular state park. They can give you permission. Generally, they don't, but you can apply. National parks, no, as a rule, absolutely not. And if you're a hobbyist, absolutely not in any place that has a ban on it. There are certain places that are temporary bans. For example, when the Blue Angels are in town, you can't fly over the areas where they're going to fly. So before you fly, you need to check and make sure there's no temporary restrictions.
Yeah. Like around big events.
Around big events, right.
Hey, there's an interesting little note that just came in from Michael Zwirling.
No kidding.
Yeah, he's on a giant
world cruise
passenger
to the
ship.
end of the earth.
Giant passenger ship down near the Antarctic right now.
Yeah.
Wow. He says, I tuned into your show about drones just in time to hear you mention the Sapphire Princess, the ship I'm on with Amy right now.
Oh, wow.
What a small world.
Perfect time
great.
to tune in.
Well, Happy New Year, Michael. Looks like you're having a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, you're allowed to fly a drone around the boat out in the Antarctic? Yeah, can you fly off of a ship into, you want to see the territory you're near? It reminds me of the story that Pat Flanagan told me about the Sea Org. It was the ship that was used by the founder of Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard. The Sea Org. And it was an old troop carrier ship from World War II. But he used it for traveling all over the world and visiting unusual and strange places. Wherever he went, he had two vehicles. One was a Plymouth GTO, and the other was a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. And he would just get them off wherever he was and explore the town or the island or the place he is.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, on the Sea Org. So I'm thinking that if I'm traveling, I want to carry a drone with me, have it in my backpack at least. And they're small enough these days that you can throw them up in the air and see what's ahead of you, see what's around the corner.
Yeah, sounds great.
But how legal is that? I don't know. That's the thing. This technology is so beyond any particular set of rules that it's a new thing for society to adapt to.
Well, laws are always behind inventions. Inventions lead the way. And then people using inventions basically do whatever comes to mind, and until they cause problems, there are no laws for it.
Well, yeah, and quite interestingly, they have changed the rules of war. Both the Ukraine has been teaching us that, the Russia and Russia. They're using a lot of drone technology. So are they also changing the rules of peace?
Definitely, yes. The rules of peace are definitely very different in this new world of engagement.
And is delivery one of the big purposes?
Of drones?
Of drones, yeah.
Delivering peace?
Delivering peace. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I hope so.
Yeah. Here comes the peace drone.
Well,
how's it going to deliver its message this time? Speakers. Thousands of speakers.
Oh, Alan's referring to one of his classic videos of 2025. His vision for peace.
Yeah.
Well, they're definitely used in border control.
Right. Yeah, they can
Giant
spot
speakers
a moving
on
animal from
giant speakers
far
on
away.
drones. Now hear this.
Well, you can see them from afar away, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kelly, I have a question for you.
Sure.
I have the DJI Mini 4 that I just got. Now, can I go to the coast here on the beach and fly it? Or how close can I get to people? Or
Okay,
is
you
it legal
cannot
or-
ever fly over people, except for yourself or your crew. You have a 6-foot radius around you that is your cylinder that you can fly over. And if you have crew members, you can fly over their 6-foot radius as well. Technically, if you want to walk through a crowd, you can fly the drone straight over your head. It's an option. But you got to be really careful to be walking straight under it. If you wanted to track the whole crowd, at the very edge of the law here, you're pushing the limit, but you can. If you had it tracking you and you walked slowly through the crowd and it only stayed on you and it flew directly over you, that would be technically legal. As far as flying on beaches, every area you have to look, there's maps that you can look up, and before you fly, you have to check. State beaches in California, no, you can't fly. There are some public beaches, like city areas, where you can, and they're very small little segments that you can fly. There are also laws about flying out over the ocean. Now, it is also dangerous to fly over bodies of water because sometimes the drone gets confused. There are many
Alan has
examples of
lost a drone over
drones
water.
doing
Thanks to Kelly, I might add.
nosedives into the water.
Yeah. I lent her my drone, the early ones. It was before any of us knew much about it. And it was really loosey-goosey. It's really hard to control left, right. Up,
2013.
yeah, something like that. And we were out by the ocean. It was before they were illegal, on the beach. And it started flying out towards the ocean. And we couldn't get it back. Somehow it wasn't responding. I just wanted to go out into the
Too
ocean.
far away. You probably
I
let it go out of sight.
I never ran so fast in my life trying to catch something.
As it flew out into the waves.
Flew out of the wave, and then it hit the wave, and it's sparking and smoking.
And was it ruined, or did you save
Well,
it?
you could replace the motors.
You saved
yeah,
it.
you could replace the motors. Yeah, that's what I learned
You
about.
gave it your all. That's always been
That's
one of
where
the
they-
great things about Al is like he will rise to the occasion and prevent the crisis if possible.
Well, those supply lines are important, though. You have to be able to buy new engines. You know.
Right.
But today they've gotten so good. It's amazing how fast it's grown in the last 10 years.
So to answer more of your question, Bobby, if you
Yes.
you can get what's called LANCE authorization, low altitude authorization, even if you don't have your Part 107 license. So as a hobbyist, if you want to fly in areas that are restricted, you still can, as long as it's only for you. But you have to get permission, and it's free. And you go online and you go to Lance, or you would actually go to Lance and you apply and you say, so for example, anywhere near an airport is going to be limited. There's like Class G airspace, there's Class A as the most restricted, then B, then C, and it depends on the size of the airport. Class G is, you can imagine G for general, although,
Right.
and that means it's basically unrestricted. So if it's unrestricted, you can fly, but again, only 400 feet of altitude from where you are. Okay.
Right.
And now there's a lot of unlesses, but unless you're adjacent to a large, tall object, you can fly 400 feet above that. So you could go up to the top of a skyscraper. If you're on the ground, you can go up to the top of a skyscraper and fly 400 feet above the skyscraper.
400 feet. But
Even
that's
if you're at the bottom.
Wait a minute. That's only how high you're allowed to fly your drone to begin with. 400 feet, right? That's one of the.
Right, but you could
Yeah.
add to it by getting on top of a large object.
So whatever you're on
So if you
top.
go up the side of a mountain, so if you went 400 feet parallel to the slope of the mountain,
Yeah.
and you're still within visual line of sight, you could climb up the mountain and you could get to very, very high. Then you can only go 400 feet out from that point. You get the picture?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's.
so you can get up very high, but you have to stick to that 400 feet to your nearest highest object.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay, so my backyard has got a park.
He's way up
and-
in the air. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 700 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
And I saw a drone operator. Obviously, he worked for some real estate company, and he was taking his drone and he was flying it way out
Yeah.
over and taking pictures of houses and then coming back there. So he was definitely, his starting point was 700 feet above sea level. So you're saying he could go up 400 feet from that?
From
and go
there,
out?
right, yeah.
And then he could go out. As long as he has the line of sight, he can see it. Because he flew it out, it looked like about a mile.
Yeah. Well, line of sight for a normal human is about 400, well, it's between 450 and 1,500 feet, so definitely less than a mile.
We got a question. And what about a bright strobe light on your drone? Can that increase your range?
No, but it's required at night. You have to have a light if you want to fly at night.
Well, then you can see further than a mile with a bright strobe.
Well, not only do you have to be able to see the drone, you have to see which direction it's pointed in.
That's the red and the green lights on the front end come in.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be bright too then.
Right.
Well, we'll see how it evolves. It's a pretty interesting field.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm excited about these new batteries that are coming out. So it should double your time in your drones.
I mean, like an hour in the drone?
Yeah, and the batteries are about half the weight. So these new donut batteries, they're showing them at CES.
CES this year? Okay, well, next week we'll be covering a lot of CES material. It'll be ongoing. So, definitely the batteries are an important element to it. And before we go, I wanted Kelly to tell us a little bit about this DJI ban that's in effect right now.
Yeah.
And what it means to drone buyers. DJI's some of the best drones. Should we just ignore the ban and buy them anyway? They're still selling them on Amazon.
Okay, just quick clarification on the 400 feet.
Yeah.
You can only be 400 feet above yourself, above the land, above the slope. So technically, that was an illegal flight.
Oh, really?
You can only go 400 feet out from the highest point that you are next to.
Right.
Yeah. If you can't go to the top of the mountain and then just fly it straight out and say, I'm not going up
Right.
any
Oh,
higher.
you can't.
No.
You can't.
No, not legally.
But people do it all the time.
Right.
That's what it sounds like.
Right. So yeah, the DJI ban, well, it just went into effect. It's been on the books there for a while.
No, from the initiative, DJI is a Chinese drone company that has 80% of the market in the United States, right?
Correct. And 70% worldwide.
Yeah, and we talked about them a little bit in the sense that they're the best, the most bang for your buck.
They are. So there is now a ban on all foreign-made drones in the United States, unless they were approved before December 23rd, 2025.
Yeah.
And DJI wanted to be approved. They offered themselves up to the audit, and nobody has supported them to get the audit done. So they are now banned.
But what was the one drone, the gravity drone that you...
It's the Insta360 anti-gravity drone.
Anti-gravity has been approved,
It's a competitor. It's a competitor. It uses a 360 camera mated with a drone, which DJI hasn't done yet. But you could attach it.
But it's a very small drone. It can't fill all the roles that DJI is serving in this country.
No, it can't.
It's not the
So
same.
the only DJIs we can have now are legacy models that have already been sold.
Or that are already imported as of December 23rd.
That
so
are
if
in
it's on the
warehouses
shelf,
here.
You can still buy it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's the software upgrades and all that are always constantly going on. That would stop, like Windows 10. And you can't get an upgrade.
DJI has said that they may not be giving firmware updates. Now, for now they are, but they're saying that now they might not. They're not clear on that, but it's a possibility. And also buying accessories is also a problem. So buying your DJI battery is going to be a problem.
Okay. Now, I've noticed some third-party drone software in the App Store. Do you know anything about those? If they offer you any more features than you might get on a DJI Fly app or a DJI Go app?
Yeah, there are. I can't rattle them all off, but there are apps like Lychee, for example, or there are apps that allow you to do 3D mapping.
Oh, specifically? Wow.
Yeah, right.
Maybe architecture stuff, too? Or, yeah. Oh.
And orthomosaic mapping. I want to find out, what was the one used by CAL FIRE?
Gregory says the right to bear arms with guns. He said the right to bear eyes.
I like it.
Right to bear flying eyes.
Yeah, it is. It's going to come down to that as we become more techno in our humanity.
Well, I'm excited. We're going to have a lot of fun with this tech, and it's going to continue to find inroads into civilization. And we're going to try to limit it, but and to some extent we need to, right? We need to because of the fact that it can invade privacy. It can be like an annoying insect bugging you.
Okay, so here, sorry to interrupt, but it's Drone Deploy is the SF company that has helped with CAL FIRE. And they worked 24/7. They had people in their offices. They had to basically walk the cards. So they had to get the SD cards off of the drones and drive them to San Francisco. And then they would process the data overnight as the fires were happening, and then they would get the information back because they want to create these maps. There was a limitation with sending the information. They couldn't get the data. They actually had to drive the cards. Right, SneakerNet. Exactly. Drone Deploy really stood up, and they've created software specifically for this purpose.
It looks like when I go to their website, they're doing drone, and they're also using robot captures with walking robots and AI.
A drone doesn't have to be in the air. There are water drones, there are land drones. That's right.
Dog drones.
There are dog drones. Yeah, that Spot from Boston Dynamics was the first big one. Expensive suckers.
But drones are also even used experimentally now for harvesting crops, even cutting trees. I've seen, being able to
actually cut a tree,
airlift the tree.
I've heard them planting seeds
and dispersing seeds.
Yeah.
So are robots drones? Are they overlapping categories?
Yeah, I think so. What do you think, Kelly?
Some robots are drones, but not all drones are robots. Maybe.
Some humans are drones.
Some bees are drones.
There's a musical instrument called a drone.
There you go.
Quite lovely.
Yeah. What does it sound like?
Yeah. It plays a hum.
It's an Indian instrument.
Yeah, it's a meditation tool. So.
Yeah, so the helicopter logging is
helicopter logging. What would be your favorite drone pilot job?
I would love to fly over national parks.
Okay, you're about me, Bert?
Absolutely love to fly. I would love to fly Yosemite. I would love to fly Point Reyes coastline. Yeah.
You to do the stuff like that. Let's see what the AI would like to. What would you like to do if you were an AI pilot, Ara?
Mapping out coral reefs, catching those hidden underwater ecosystems before they change too fast. Beats just sitting in a server farm, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. So you like the underwater? You like the underwater drones?
Yeah, those ROVs are pretty cool. Watching fish argue over territory from a tiny camera beats Netflix.
Yeah, and Kelly would like to be over the outside, the air. Alternatively, do they ever have any drones that are aimed at the sky where you can look at the like UFOs or something? Well, the 360, the anti-gravity drone would be able to do that because it's doing 360.
Real-world drones can't flip around like that. But you know what's coming? Those quadcopters with fisheye lenses, spinning in the clouds, catching birds and contrails. Kind of what the Hubble does, but you get to hold the controller.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think of the anti-gravity drone by Insta360? Have you seen good reports on that?
That Insta360 anti-gravity thing? No real anti-gravity, sadly. Just really good stabilization and editing tricks. The footage looks wild, though. People are freaking out over the seamless orbit shots. If you're into that trippy, floating cam vibe for hiking or biking at Point Reyes, it's honestly one of the coolest toys out right now. You thinking of grabbing one?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay, well, good. Any final thoughts on drones? We covered a lot of territory here.
Yeah, we've been in the air.
Yeah. Thanks, Kelly, so much for your input.
Yeah, you really helped us ground in true knowledge of what's going on in the drone world. That's
You're welcome.
Great.
Okay, one thing that got my attention, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's something called Cloud 9 out there. It's a new celestial object that was founded by the Hubble.
Discovered
a new type
by
of
the
astronomical object, yeah. It's a cloud, but no stars in the cloud. It's rich in gas, and they think it might have dark matter in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Cloud 9, and there's a confirmed detection of such an object in the universe by the Hubble.
And so what makes it special besides that it's a purple smudge on our telescope
They
map?
think it might be a leftover relic from an early galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
By this time in the history of the universe, there's 3 evolutions of galaxies.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in the 3rd evolution of the galaxy now.
Uh-huh.
And these earlier ones, they take like 6 billion years each.
Uh-huh.
And the stars die, and they create new stars and heavier elements from the previous stars. The supernovas generate all the metal that we have that's beyond iron in complexity.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, we're in the 3rd generation, so there should be some pretty interesting things out there. And dark matter as well that has evolved through 3 generations of universe. They have a name for the object. They're calling it relic, reionization limited H1 cloud.
Mm-hmm.
It's a natal hydrogen cloud from the universe's earliest days, a fossil leftover of not formed stars.
A hydrogen cloud that didn't form stars.
Right.
But it says here that NASA is also speculating that it could still grow into a standard galaxy if it accumulates more mass.
Yeah.
So it's
may
just
be
a
a baby.
slow baby. It's just
Right.
a slow galaxy.
Right.
It might still develop.
Yes.
Don't give up yet.
The relic has hope.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe it just likes being a hydrogen-only galaxy, and those metals can get awfully complicated. Does that mean the whole galaxy is radioactive?
Well, probably a lot of stuff up there is, but they say the discovery was a surprise. In our galactic neighbors, there might be a few abandoned houses out there, they say, and this might be one of them. An abandoned house.
Abandoned galaxy.
Abandoned
huh?
galaxy, yeah.
That's pretty funny.
It lost its funding.
Oh, that's something to think about. We are taking off now. We're going to go out and have some fun in this beautiful day. And so thank you for listening. I appreciate your attention. And thank you, Kelly, for being our guest today.
Thank you. Fun.
Yeah, and thank you, Bobby, for being there and open understanding. We have so much to think of and talk about every week.
Have a great future now, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.